By the way, and on the same subject, I'll tell you an anecdote of a conversation that I had with with my father, God, about like 7 months ago or 6 months ago. It was actually funny, but I mean, like many times I didn't understand like immediately. I mean, the answer that I received, but I mean, not long after that I understood it. Some of you will perhaps understand it immediately, especially with regards to the current situation. It's just a little funny story, but I mean, it's true. It's like 100% true. It's happened just like that. So I walked in Tel Aviv, as I've done many times, and at the time I saw that the gate is actually located in the Ben Gurion airport. So I asked God, I mean, Father, are there any other gates in Israel or other places? Because I suspected that they are, but I wasn't sure. So he told me there are others, yes, but they didn't find all of them. But they're going to find one just now. I mean, it will be a miracle, like very soon. So I asked him, where will they find it? So he told me, you see, like here, I mean, like Reches Kurkar, it's like, I don't know how to translate it, just, just a little hill, where the embassy, the American embassy is located in Tel Aviv. So he told me they're digging there now, and soon they will find a gate there, but not to Venus, but to the moon. So I told them, wow, amazing. So they're actually, and it seems logical at the moment, because there is actually like a little hill there, and like a parking area. And I thought, okay, maybe they dig. They want to enlarge the parking area, so they dig. And it's like, so the embassy is digging, and maybe they actually find a new stargate to the moon. It's simpler than it. Don't think too much about it, because it's pretty simple. God also speak like that from time to time. He uses simple jokes and metaphors. I don't know if it's translated well to English, but in Hebrew, in slang, modern slang, when you say digging, is also speaking too much about something, or like discussing something at terrible length, when words are not needed. And of course, the gate to the moon is, a metaphoric, passage. The meaning is that, they are speaking far too much in the American embassy in Tel Aviv, and very soon asteroids will just create a new moon, which will be, formerly the Earth. It will look just like the moon after all the asteroids will actually hit the Earth. And this is a direct consequence of the digging, like the discussions that are held in the American embassy. And the funniest thing, or the very not funny thing, is that it's still ongoing. They still dig, they still speak, they still move tongues, and tongues and lips are still being moved in the American embassy in Tel Aviv. 6 or 7 months passed, and terrible events that are all of them could have been foreseen, and they were foreseen at great length, but they still keep talking. They still, for some reason, think that there is, I don't know, yet an ample storage of words that have not been used, and perhaps if they will only use them correctly, now, the situation will somehow improve. And then God has said his words. The consequence of the discussions in the American embassy that started long ago, but they're still ongoing, is the moon, a new moon, which is called Earth, formerly Earth. It will look like the moon. After enough asteroids hit this place, and they are already on the way, it will look like the moon. And that is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. That is a fact. The Americans have by far the largest military force ever that ever existed in Earth, and yet they do not move one soldier. Only mouses and tongues. And every day that I am a prisoner in the Nazi death camp is another asteroid that will hit Earth with 100% accuracy. That's the deal. And it's not a new deal. It's actually kind of old now. But for some reason, mouses and tongues keep moving. They still move. There is still a movement of mouses and tongues. I really, I mean, I don't have, like, I lack words. I mean, how is it explain? How can you explain it? Homo sapiens, the thinking race, it defines itself by that it thinks, and yet, I mean, they are, I mean, literally creating a moon from their planet, but they cannot stop the movement of mouths and tongues, even though they were moving for so long now. Why aren't they stopped moving? Why the largest military force ever existed on the face of Earth do not move one soldier? Why only mouths and tongues are moved? Amazing. Anyway, whatever the reason might be, I mean, the consequences are the same. Each day that I'm here with my daughters in the Nazi prison, another asteroid will hit Earth. And they're already on the way. And you know that a speech is so advanced as to actually show you already things beyond your imagination with positive scientific evidence. You understand it very well. I mean, even the current technology of humans is not that far from actually diverting asteroids from their course. I mean, if you were not, I mean, you're all going to be dead very soon. But if you were not that stupid and you have chosen different paths, I mean, it is reasonable to assume that in 50 or 60 years you would have had, I mean, the initial technology of diverting asteroids. Perhaps not in great precision and power, but some kind of technology. So can you imagine, I mean, what actually, I mean, the species that are so much older and advanced than you are can do? It can play with asteroids like you play with football, but in much more accuracy. We can shoot all the asteroids in the solar system, and all of them, I mean, 100% will hit the Earth. It's not a problem. And it's starting. I mean, it's already starting, and you actually know it. And yet, movement of mouths and tongues do not cease. I mean, they're still moving mouths and tongues. How can you explain? How big can the ego be? I understand you have a crazy ego, all of you, not only Israelis, all of you. But how big can the ego be in order to actually explain movement and tongues and mouths in the current situation? Where you know that each day that you keep moving the mouths and tongues and mouths, another asteroid is going to hit Earth. Millions of people will die every day. But you continue. I mean, movement do not stop. They still move their mouths and tongues. It is amazing. It is amazing and unthinkable, but it's reality.